So let's go ahead and officially settle in for our practice. And as always, if you see me running back and forth to the camera, that's to let some other classmates in. So go ahead and find your comfortable seat. Maybe that is sitting with the legs crossed. Maybe you prefer to sit on the knees. Maybe it feels good for you to sit with the legs straight in front. If you feel like you need a moment of constructive rest coming onto your back, knees bent, take that if you need that. If you do take that posture, I will guide you back to seated because once we move through the breath, we're going to do some seated stretches. So yeah, finding that comfortable seat, you might rest your hands on your thighs, the palms can face down to really bring in or speak in that sense of grounding. But if you're in a place where you need to receive energy or you just have an intention that you have for this practice and you want to be in the space of receiving the energy for that practice, you'll flip the palms up. And as always, placing hands on heart, on belly, on any place in the body where you might need a loving touch, that is always welcome. So finding what feels good for you, softness in the shoulders, lengthen the spine. Maybe close the eyes if that feels good. Soft gaze if you prefer. Gently concentrating your gaze somewhere in the room or on the floor. If closing the eyes is not comfortable for you. If you do close the eyes, notice that the lids are gently closed and not squeezing the eyes shut. So just really noticing even those small little ways that we can hold on to tension. Softness in the eyelids, softness in the muscles of the face, the jawline. It's interesting. Last week, I went for my 6-month checkup at the dentist, and they asked me, do you grind your teeth? And I'm like, no, I've never known myself to be a tooth grinder. I had a roommate in college who was a tooth grinder, and I remember like waking up and hearing that noise, and I was like, what is that? But I'm not a tooth grinder. And they said, well, is there any other like something that you do with your jaw? And immediately I saw myself when I think really hard, when I get really tense. And it's interesting. My grandmother was the same way. My mom, we all hold our jaws really, really tight. And I was like, oh my gosh, am I holding my jaw so tight that it represents as teeth grinding, right? So really soften that jawline, maybe open or close the mouth, open and close the mouth rather to relax the jaw. Softening the tongue, the lips, the shoulders, slightly pressing the heart forward as you lift through the crown of the head. Noticing your sits bones connected to the earth. Dropping into your breathing, just noticing what your breath sounds like, what it feels like, where it's coming from. Not judging your breath, not judging yourself. Just being right here, right now. Maybe bringing the breath to a more steady, even pace. As you inhale, gently noticing the expansion of the belly, the rib cage, the lungs. Exhale and feel the release. Our yoga therapy class focus this weekend in one of my classes was the respiratory system. So it was really interesting to learn how the breath works in the body. And so when we inhale, it's like the diaphragm and everything pushes down to make space for that breath. Everything opens to make space for the breath. And then as you exhale, it all gently comes back. So as you breathe, can you notice that? Can you feel the movement in the diaphragm? The opening of the intercostal muscles, which is the rib cage. The beautiful expansion of your lungs as you take that breath in. And then how everything gently falls back to center as you exhale out. Let's take 3 more breaths like this in this space. Inhale, fill your belly, fill your lungs, fill your chest. Feel the breath wherever it is in your body. Maybe you're feeling it beyond your torso. Maybe you're feeling that beautiful expansion everywhere in your body. Connecting the breath to the mind and the mind to the breath. so that everything is connected through the inhale and the exhale. And let's together take one more beautiful, full, deep breath in, drawing the breath deep from the belly. Again, noticing that expansion up through the lungs, into the chest. And this time, as you exhale, I invite you to let out an audible sigh. Ah, just letting everything go as you invite yourself to be present with your practice today. If you have the eyes closed, you can continue to keep the eyes closed as you gently turn the head from side to side or tilt the head up and down. If you did take constructive rest, this might be a nice time to come back into a seated posture. Just find some movement here with the head and the neck that feels good. Maybe you want to take some neck rolls. Beautiful. Whatever comes to you. Beautiful. Let's bring the head back to center. If you have the eyes closed, gently flutter the eyes open. And with your next inhale, let's sweep the arms up, shoulders soft. We're lengthening the sides of the body. Reach up through those fingertips as you take another breath in. And with the exhale, let's drop that right hand outside of the right hip. Left arm reaches over to the right. We're being mindful to keep the left sits bones, the left hip anchored to the mat so we're not lifting, but really allowing this to be a true stretch from the left side. As always, walk that right hand out as much as you need to deepen the stretch. You want to notice that you're not collapsing right ear onto the right shoulder and you're not hugging left ear with the left arm. Maybe you want to bring your gaze up to the left arm. Can we pause here for 2 more breaths? And as we move through this practice today, we are at the top of a new month. So maybe it's as you move through this practice, you think about what intentions you have for this month. Let's inhale, sweep the right arm up, left hand comes outside of the left hip. And new month is an opportunity to start with a clean slate, to reset intentions. We're moving into the cooler months of the year. What does that mean for you? Again, we're noticing that we're not hugging the ears. Oh, and before I forget, I feel like we had a birthday yesterday. I think Antigone's birthday was yesterday. Antigone, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought about that today. Like, I think Antigone's October 5th. One more deep breath in. Exhale out. Did I see a thumbs up? Beautiful. Let's inhale, left arm up. And we're going to take this into a seated forward fold. It's a lot of October 5th babies out there. I know a few people that had a birthday yesterday. We can bring the head to the ground, the chin to the chest. If you do have a yoga block, you can rest your head there. You might walk the hands out to the right and to the left to deepen the stretch in the sides of the body. You might pause here and center. Keep the sits bones anchored to the mat. Pause here for 2 more breaths. Again, softness in the shoulders. So really feel yourself reach to those fingertips. Press the shoulders back. And as we sit with our legs crossed, if that is how you are sitting, we're even having that gentle stretch of the hips. Take 1 more deep breath in. Exhale out. Beautiful. Let's walk the hands back into the body. And to sit up nice and easy, take a moment to check in. Whew, beautiful. And then let's get ready to uncross these legs. So if you are sitting with your legs crossed, I invite you to bring the hands behind you so that you can release, lean back into the arms, release the cross of the legs. Take a moment to windshield wipe the knees. That blood flowing. Beautiful. All right, yogis, I'm gonna turn around just to change my view. And we are going to take a moment to work through head to knee pose. Let me just check the chat super quick. So go ahead and straighten up. October 7th. Okay. I was close. I was close. Okay. So tomorrow. So Happy birthday, Antigone. That's tomorrow. Beautiful. So we're straightening out the legs. And here's something else I learned in yoga therapy. And I was so excited to learn this because as a yoga teacher, this is something I and many yoga teachers have said. But sometimes when we're sitting, you may notice that your teacher tells you to, you can kind of flush your glute muscles out. Instead of flushing them out, you want to pull them back and up. And that's going to actually provide you more proper support between your lower back, your hip structure, your pelvic structure. So that was like a fun tidbit that I was excited to share. We can start with hands on the hips. Just take a moment to stretch the legs here, flex the toes into the body. Deep breath in, exhale, press the earth away from you as you lift through the crown of the head. Just taking a quick moment here in seated staff pose to open up those hamstrings. Again, flex the toes, gaze can come towards the toes. Take one more beautiful deep breath in. Exhale, press that earth away, lift through the crown of the head. Notice how that works the posture. You might even notice the more you lift through the crown of the head, the more you're deepening that stretch, right? In the legs, remember hips, hamstring, and lower back all connected. So as we focus on one area, in this case, our posture, that invites opening in these other areas. Now we're going to turn this into seated head to knee pose. We're going to take the sole of the right foot, place it on the inside of the left thigh. Please modify if you need to. So if the right foot needs to come down lower on the left leg, honor your body. Let's keep those left toes flexed in as we inhale, sweep the arms up. We're going to turn our torso to face the left knee. Deep breath in, and with the exhale, fold forward towards that left knee. Be where you are. So if this is your first proper stretch of the day, you might have a little tightness still in the shoulders, in the lower back, in the hamstring. That's okay. We're going to be here for a few breaths. With each breath, you might find that you can go a little bit deeper. Remember, we prepare on the inhale, and on the exhale, fold forward a little bit more. If that right knee is sitting up high from a little tightness in that right hip, we can take an open palm with the right hand, place it on the inside of the right thigh, guide the thigh down to the earth, opening up the hip, but keeping that twist towards the left knee. So I love this posture because it invites the hamstring stretch in the left leg, the hip opening in the right, and the slight twist with our torso coming towards the left knee. Keep the shoulders soft. So if we were in a physical space together, I would come and gently press your shoulders down, not directly on the shoulders, but on the clavicle, in that space just before the shoulders. So imagine pressing that down, softening that. Take 2 more breaths. Notice what you're experiencing, what you're feeling, what's opening for you, what's resisting, or where you might be experiencing resistance. One more beautiful deep breath in. Hold for the exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, slowly coming back up, tall spine. Straighten out that right leg, maybe give it a little shake. And then let's find that on the other side. Sole of the left foot comes inside the right thigh. And again, place that left foot anywhere that's available for you. So if you need to place the foot inside of the shin, honor your body. Right toe flexes in. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up, shoulders soft. Torso turns towards the right knee, breath in. Exhale, find your forward fold. And you might find right away, hey, I am more open on the right side than I am on the left side. So these are the things that the practice invites us to notice. Where are we holding our tension? What side of our body is tighter than the other? Same option for the left thigh. You can take open palm with the left hand. Guide that thigh down to the earth as you keep yourself twisted towards the right knee. Folding in, keep that shoulder soft, especially that right shoulder. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Can we hang out here for 3 more breaths? Just being here right now. Notice the experience in your body as you move through the postures. Let's take one more beautiful deep breath in. Hold here for the exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, slowly roll on up, coming back to that tall spine. And we're going to turn this right into a seated twist. We're now going to step that left foot over the right. I feel like it's been a long time since we've done a seated twist. And then we're going to inhale, lift through the crown of the head. Exhale, turn in towards that left thigh. You can hug the left knee with the right arm. You can take your bent elbow outside of the left knee, giving yourself a little anchor here to twist a little bit deeper to the left. So find what feels good for you. Gaze comes towards that left shoulder. Left shoulder is soft here. Flex those right toes. The left fingertips can point away from you or in towards the body, whatever feels good for you. But we even want to notice the alignment of that left shoulder and wrist. Keep lifting through the crown of the head, everything nice and tall. Gently massaging our intestinal organs, our digestive organs. One more deep breath in. Hold for the exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, lift through the crown of the head. Exhale, come to center. Whew. Let's uncross that leg and take it to the other side. Right leg steps over left. Left toes are flexed now. We inhale, lift through the crown of the head. Belly comes in towards that left thigh, or right thigh rather. Hugging that right knee with the left arm or taking your left elbow bent with an open palm to hug the right knee. Again, the fingertips can point away from you or in towards the body, yogi's choice. And gaze is coming towards or over that right shoulder. So for me, the lower right side of my back is really loving this. 3 deep breaths. And again, with every exhale, can you twist a little deeper? Coming into the right thigh a little bit more. Gaze coming towards that right shoulder a little bit more. Taking one more full deep breath in here. Hold for the exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, lift through the crown of the head. Exhale, come back through center. Let's uncross the legs, shake out what you need to shake out. And we're going to move right into a child's pose from here. So take your time, swinging the body around. If you want to take a moment to pause in hands and knees, you can do that. Sometimes some folks like to do that and then just really settle themselves into a child's pose. So we're going to bring those big toes into touch, extend the knees the width of the mat, and press the bum back to the heels. Extend the arms forward if that feels good. Your option is always to fold up one or both of the arms to support the head. Good. If the arms are extended, the elbows can lift, making this posture a little more active. Or drop the elbows down, just making this a little more gentle. You might gently turn the head from side to side or rock the hips from side to side. Or maybe it feels good just to notice, just to be here, just to breathe. Notice that expansion in your belly as you breathe in, and how everything releases as you breathe out. From an emotional perspective, is there something you've been carrying around this year that just really no longer serves you? And can you picture yourself releasing that thing, leaving it here on the mat? This posture of child's pose invites surrender, it invites release, it invites letting go. And can you use your breath? Can you use the exhales to help you release? Let's take 2 more breaths here, yogis. Pressing the hips back to the space behind you, inviting that gentle opening and stretch in the lower back. Gentle stretch for the ankles. It's a very gentle posture with a lot going on. Let's take one more beautiful deep breath in. Hold for the exhale. Now I've been having fun with this month, so in keeping with consistency for some of our practices, we did this last Monday, we did this the Saturday before last Monday, so we'll keep it consistent. We're going to move our bodies forward, gaze comes to the top of the mat. Bringing the front of the body all the way down into the mat. We're preparing for upward facing dog. Zip up the thighs, untuck the toes, hands coming under the shoulders, draw those elbows in. And with the inhale, push yourself up, lift yourself up, peeling the hips away from the mat, shoulders in line with the wrist, heart pressing forward. Deep breath in. If it feels good with the exhale, gently tilt the head back, opening up your throat chakra, only if that feels good. Take what feels good for you here. Maybe you want to even add a little bit more to this, pressing down through the tops of the feet as you lift the knees away from the mat. That can make this upward dog a little more challenging. That's going to engage a little bit more of the body weight. So a little strengthening there. Take what feels good for you. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more full deep breath in. Soften those shoulders. Hold for the exhale. Beautiful. Let's tuck the toes under, lift knees, lift hips. Press it up and back into downward facing dog. Enjoying this space for 5 beautiful cycles of breath. Take what feels good for you here. Maybe you want to pedal the feet. Maybe you want to come all the way up to the tippy toes. And as you exhale, anchor down through the heels. Maybe it feels good to sweep the legs up. Take a little hip opening, bending the knee, opening up the hip. Wherever you go, keeping your body in that beautiful shape of the upside down V. Even if the heels do not touch the ground, we anchor through the heels in this posture. So we want to take the weight out of the wrists. Deep breath in, exhale, belly comes in towards the thighs, opening up that shoulder space a little bit more. Two more beautiful breaths here, yogis. One more deep breath in. Hold for the exhale. And then nice and easy, let's bring it back down to the knees. We're going to prepare to move into our low lunge from here. So if you have your yoga blocks handy, you want to grab those. Also, if you want to grab that pillow or blanket to support the back knee in the posture, have that nearby. Let's go ahead and step the left foot forward between the hands. We want to notice that the left knee is in line with the ankle, so creating that 90-degree angle. And then we're going to curl those right toes under as we drag that right leg back, untuck the toes. I'm going to move myself up on the mat a little bit. Now here you may find that you need the cushioning under the back knee. Yoga blocks can come in handy here if you are framing the left foot with the hands. You can use the yoga blocks instead or continue to frame the foot here. Otherwise, you can bring hands to the thighs to support yourself, hands to the waist, or sweep the arms up if you want to make this a true low lunge. We're going to add a twist to this after a few breaths, but first let's just take a moment and see what this feels like. You can also add a shoulder opener. So remember your options. We want the knee to be directly stacked over the ankle and not dropping in towards the midline or out towards the left outer edge of the mat. Beautiful. So placement of the foot supports the alignment of the knee. Deep breath in with the exhale. Can you feel yourself sink the pelvic floor down to the earth? Sink those hips down to the earth like gravity is pulling your pelvis down. And then do you notice any resistance to that? Any tension in response to that? Breathe and soften. Your hips will thank me later. Let's take one more beautiful deep breath in. Hold for the exhale. And then nice and easy, we can first start by placing left hands on the thighs just so we're all in the same place. And then we're going to place the right hand on the inside of the left foot. Remember, you can use your yoga block here. Try to line up the right shoulder with the wrist. I'm going to turn my back to you for just a second as we move into the twist. Belly comes towards that left thigh. We can sweep the left arm up. Keep the left hand on the hip, pressing that left shoulder back. Even add a shoulder opener here, tucking the left hand into the right hip. So find what feels good, but keep control over the knee, yogis. So drawing that knee so that it's stacked over the ankle. It's not flying to the left. It's not coming into the middle. You're going to notice that's going to work your thighs a little bit more. Try not to drop into that right shoulder. 2 more breaths here, yogis. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more full deep breath in. Hold for the exhale. Beautiful. Let's bring that left hand down. So now we're framing the left foot with the hands. Pause here for a breath in. Exhale out. Beautiful. You can move that right hand over to step the left knee back. And then yogi's choice to bring the knees together to touch and press yourself back in a modified version of child's pose that's going to massage the hips. Or if you feel like you want to take a down dog from here, find what feels good. 3 deep breaths wherever you go. Beautiful, yogis. 1 more beautiful deep breath in. Hold for the exhale. Beautiful. And then from your modified child's pose or down dog, let's come back to hands and knees to find that on the opposite side. So we're stepping right foot forward between the hands. We're lining that left knee up with the ankle. We are dragging that left leg back, cushioning up that knee if we need to. Again, noticing right knee in line with the ankle. And then you can use your blocks or frame your right foot with the hands if you need the modification. Hands on waist, hands on hips, or sweep the arms up. Or take your shoulder opener. Deep breath in, and with the exhale, feel yourself sinking those hips down. Beautiful. Breathe into it, yogis. Breathe into it. We're not fighting. We're not forcing. We're not trying to sort of energetically force the square into the circle, right? We're just breathing and flowing and releasing, surrendering. Beautiful. Watch that right knee. You want to keep it right over that ankle, right toes facing forward. 1 more beautiful deep breath in here. Hold for the exhale. And then this time, let's play around with moving right into that twist, but take your time if you need to. Left hand comes to the inside of the right foot. We're going to turn our belly towards the right thigh. Keep that right knee coming, not in, dropping in towards the midline, but not hanging out to the right. So keeping that right knee stacked over the ankle and then sweeping the right arm up. So I have some nerve impingement in my right shoulder, so it's hard for me to raise that right arm. So I'm going to modify here. I'm going to keep my hand on the waist, press the shoulder back. Good. At least I think it's nerve impingement. It's either nerve impingement, overuse, or good old arthritis. Good old arthritis, one of the joys of progressing through your 40s. Beautiful. And let's just hold this twist for another 2 breaths. Press the earth away with the left hand so you're not collapsing into that left shoulder. Take 1 more beautiful deep breath in. Hold for the exhale. Beautiful. Returning the right foot, or the right hand rather, outside of the right foot. So you're framing the foot with the hand. Step that right knee back. Take that modified child's pose or down dog if you need it or want it. Beautiful. Another beautiful deep breath in here. Hold for the exhale. Beautiful. And then yogis, we're going to play around with a little bit of balancing, and then from there, we'll begin to cool it off. So we're going to do a modified version of half moon pose. We're going to come to hands and knees. And let's see, how do I want to? Yeah. Okay. So what we're going to do is start by anchoring ourselves down on the left knee. And then we're going to turn our torso to open up to the right side of the mat so that we are again anchored on our left hand. Our left palm is connected with the earth, left shoulder in line with that left hip. Let's start, or left shoulder in line with the left wrist. And we are going to rest the hand on the right hip, Press that right shoulder back so you feel the front of the body opening. Now, modified, you can stay like this. If you want to start to add to it, what is it like to raise the right leg off the mat? Flex those right toes. So again, this is a modified version of half moon pose. Standing, the left leg would be the standing leg. And the right leg would be doing the same thing, lifted with the toes flexed. And then for the full expression, extend that right arm up. Again, I'm just going to take the modification for myself on this side. Concentrate the gaze, relax the jawline. Can we hold this for 3 more breaths? Keep those right toes flexed. Lift the right leg a little bit more. As much as we can, we want to try to get that right ankle in line with the right hip. Good. One more deep breath in. Hold for the exhale. And then nice and easy, let's first drop the right foot back down to the mat. If you have the right arm extended, bring it down to the hip. And then let's come back into tabletop. I'm going to turn my body just so I don't have to turn my back to you. And then we're going to find that on the other side. This is one of my favorite modified balancing postures. So now we're anchoring ourselves down in that right knee. Left leg extends. We open up that left leg so that we are opening now the torso to the left side of the mat. Like right shoulder in line with the wrist. Good. Now, if you're taking the modified version, the outer left edge of the foot is anchored onto the mat. And then you can decide to grow this posture, raising the left leg, flexing the left toes, stay here with the hand on the waist, or lift the left hand. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Press the earth away with the right hand. Holding steady for 3, 2, 1 more beautiful deep breath in. Hold for the exhale. Beautiful, then nice and easy, drop the left leg back down to the mat, hand comes to the waist, bring yourself back into tabletop. And instead of child's pose, we're gonna take puppy pose, which is gonna give us a little bit of a deeper stretch in the shoulders. So puppy pose, we keep the knees in the tabletop posture, but the arms take child's pose arms, and then we press the heart down to the mat. So the hips are lifted, the arms are outstretched, and the head can rest on the mat. Again, if you need to fold up one of your arms to support your head, you can find that. You can do that to give yourself the support you need. And I always like to say, when we are in puppy pose, if we were in a physical space together, I would come and gently place my hands between your shoulder blades. And with your permission, I would gently press that space between your shoulder blades. I would press that down so that the heart is melting to the mat. So in a regular hatha or vinyasa practice, we call this puppy pose, but in yin yoga, we call this melting heart, which is reflective of the heart coming down to the mat. 2 more breaths. Good. One more beautiful deep breath in. Hold for the exhale. Beautiful. And then gently walking the hands back into the body, gently lifting the head. Let's turn to come onto our backs. All roads lead to Shavasana from here. So if you want to grab your blanket, pillow, whatever you like to have to support your head, neck, and shoulders, whatever you like to have for your Shavasana. Let's come onto the back in a space of constructive rest. Good. Just take a moment here, settle in, deep breath in. Exhale. Feel yourself just really letting everything go here. Beautiful. Taking a figure 4, crossing the left leg over the right, or the left ankle hanging just off the right thigh. We're going to prepare for our restorative version of pigeon pose. So your options, you can always stay just like this with your figure 4, left toes flexed, arms resting on the ground if this feels good. Or maybe you're using the left hand to gently press the left thigh towards the front of the mat, just giving that left hip a little more opening. Or as always, your options are to raise the right leg, keep the knee bent, interlacing the fingers behind the right thigh, or straightening the right leg, flexing the toes. Good. If you take this version with the right leg extended, you can use your left elbow to nudge that left thigh forward. Keep the shoulders soft. Another option is to bend the right knee, and instead of interlacing fingers behind the thighs, you can interlace the fingers on the front of the right shin. And that will actually deepen the stretch that you feel on the outside of the left hip as opposed to the inside. Beautiful. Let's take 2 more breaths. Keeping the lower back anchored onto the mat. One more beautiful deep breath in. Hold for the exhale. And then nice and easy, let's drop the sole of the right foot down to the mat, uncross the left leg. Take a nice breath in and out before we move to the opposite side. And then figure 4 with the right leg. Take your options. Maybe you're staying here, just enjoying pressing the right thigh towards the front of the mat. Maybe you want to bend that left knee and either interlace fingers behind the left thigh or in front of the left shin. Or maybe you're extending the left leg to the ceiling, flexing both sets of toes. And in this version, you would use that right elbow to nudge the right thigh forward. Softness in your shoulders. Three more beautiful breaths here, yogis. One more beautiful deep breath in here. Hold for the exhale. And then gently return left foot to the mat, uncross the right leg. Take a moment here, walk the feet out to the edges of the mat. Just give yourself a nice windshield wipe of the knees. Good. And then we're going to take one last hip opener before we move into our Shavasana. And we're going to explore a little happy baby tonight. So let's go ahead, draw the knees into the chest. We'll keep the knees open outside of the hips. Arms come on the insides of the legs. And we're either grabbing the outer edges of the feet, we're holding on to our ankles, we're using our peace fingers, second and third fingers to hook onto the big toes. Maybe you're holding on to the backs of the thighs. If you have the arms inside of the legs, press the arms against the legs against the arms, just creating that resistance that will just allow you to open up the hips a little bit more. Flex the toes, deep breath in, and with the exhale, sink the knees down to the earth. I like to say in towards your armpits. And then you can choose to rock from side to side. And remember, this is called happy baby, not tight face, clenching teeth baby. So if you are responding to this with tension, can you soften the tension and find the happy, right? Ananda in Sanskrit is bliss, happiness. And so we call this Ananda Balasana, happy baby. Balasana is also the Sanskrit term for child's pose, pose of the child. So Balasana is child's pose and Ananda Balasana is happy baby. Good. You take 2 or 3 more breaths here. Maybe you want to draw one knee in as you extend the opposite leg. Whatever feels good. Finding one more full deep breath in. Holding for the exhale. And then very gently close the knees, hugging the arms around the shins, the knees, the backs of the thighs. It might feel good to rock from side to side here, maybe rock back and forth. Maybe it feels good to bring the head to the knees for a moment. Taking another full deep breath in. Hold for the exhale. And this time, as you take a big, beautiful breath in, remember feeling that entire expansion of the torso, the diaphragm, the rib cage. With the exhale, extend and release your legs onto the mat, finding your way into Shavasana and finding your version of Shavasana. So maybe it feels good to take Shavasana with the knees bent or with the legs or feet extended beyond the edges of the mat. Maybe it feels good to bring the arms out to the side like a T. Soften the shoulders, close the eyes if that feels good. Anchor into your breath. Noticing the breath in and the breath out. And as you rest here, I'll share a passage from Melody Beattie's Journey to the Heart, Daily Meditations on the Path to Freeing Your Soul. And this passage is from today, October 6th, and it's called, What Are Your Priorities? I was working away in my cabin, trying to print out the pages I had typed into my computer. It was taking half an hour to print each page. I had 100 pages to go. For the umpteenth time, I checked my computer, checked the program, checked the printer, checked everything I knew to see why it was printing so slowly. It all seemed to be set up properly. Then I accidentally touched a control setting, one I hadn't noticed before. It was the priority control. It was set on low. I switched it to high priority, and the pages now began to print at top speed. Priorities are important. Learning how to focus our energy according to priorities, even though we're going with the flow, is an important part of our lives. It's one of the powers we're learning. What are your priorities? Is living from your heart one of them? Are there tasks you'd like to accomplish? Skills you'd like to acquire? Is meditation, being centered, and living your life from a place of balance an area you've designated as critical? Is loving yourself a priority? How important is your spiritual growth? What priority have you assigned to other areas like pleasure, having fun, feeling joy? Are your priorities set on high, medium, or low? Look around and you'll see your answers. Your life as it now reflects the priorities you have chosen so far. If something is happening too slowly, try switching your priority setting from low to high. Taking another beautiful deep breath in here, holding for the exhale. And slowly, gently returning into awareness in your body, noticing the arms, the legs, the fingers, the toes, back of the body resting on the mat. And perhaps as you wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, maybe you circle the ankles and the wrists. Maybe it feels good to hug the knees into the chest again here, or simply bend the knees, keeping the soles of the feet on the mat, rocking the knees from side to side. And as you enjoy this, I'll share a little tidbit about, or that reflects rather, on the passage about priorities. So I've shared ad nauseum that I am leaving for Spain this Thursday, and I'm also in this graduate program, and there is a lot of work that was due this week as well as the week when I'm in Spain. And I just said, no, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to get that work done, because my priority in Spain is to be fully present with myself. I don't want to worry about Wi-Fi. I don't want to worry about posting. I don't want to worry about processing. It's been a very, very, very long time since I have been in the receiving space of a yoga retreat. There's been a lot of change in my life over the past 4 years, and this feels like the first time that I'll really kind of get to land in a place that is, or in a setting rather, that's just for me. And so that is prioritizing doing the things now so that I can be present for myself when the time calls for it. So whatever you have coming up in your life for yourself, if you have a trip planned or a day off for yourself, let it be a day for yourself. Do the work beforehand, or if the work can wait until you get back, but trying not to integrate work and life and all of that. When you have time for you, like the passage says, let that be a high priority. Gently rocking to your left side, resting in a fetal position with the head supported by the hands. Pausing here as you take a breath in and a breath out. Using the hand that's closest to the earth to very gently press yourself up, coming back into that seated posture we were in at the beginning of our time together. Perhaps resting hands on thighs in your lap or on your heart. Softness in the shoulders, lengthen your spine. Maybe have the eyes closed or open with a soft gaze if you prefer. Honoring yourself for prioritizing yourself tonight, making this time for your practice. You could be anywhere, but you chose to be here. And for that, you should honor yourself. Saying to yourself silently or out loud, thank you. I love you. I trust you. I forgive you. Together, let's take another beautiful deep breath in. Hold for the exhale. May we all be happy. May we all be free. May we all be peaceful, easeful, useful, and joyful. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining. And namaste.